there's a fin in the water. Oh, you're joking. They caught the wrong shark again. Can you believe it? We should probably warn George, right? He's right there. Everyone yell at him. George! George? Can you hear me? Oh, this is terrible. Oh, no. Okay. Oh. Well, you know what? I just remembered that George, he loves juice boxes. Can't get enough of them. He took some down there and they exploded. Would you look at that? We're going to hide behind this dock. It's super safe, I promise. We even put some bait in that white barrel. So let's hope he takes the bait. And not us, right? Oh, thank goodness he took the bait. He's going to be too full. He will not want us. Please. Do not. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Has anyone seen the shark?
Did you see the shark, Hendell? Did you see the shark?
Yes.
You know what? I did hear something very interesting about this shark. I heard that if you clap loud enough for him, he might do a trick. Should we see if that's true? Let's try it out. No way! Look, he's doing the trick! Look, everyone, it's true! Wow. Yeah, you know, he's the only shark in the world that can do the backstroke. It's pretty impressive. Now, our shark, his name is Bruce. He's an example of a mechanical effect which falls underneath the larger umbrella of practical effects. Now, a practical effect is something that could be used on set and in the moment. Now, practical effects are very common when it comes to filmmaking. Now, not every production calls for a mechanical shark, but say there's a scene that takes place in the wintertime and it starts to snow. Well, we're in the middle of sunny Southern California. You know, it doesn't snow a whole lot here. Can't count on that, but what we can count on is a practical effect being created on set. So let's go ahead and show you what it's like to create a little bit of weather here in Old Mexico.
Maybe next time.
Yes.
Maybe next time.
Then when it comes to creating weather on a set, you want to make sure that the production is in total control of what's going on, right? So that they can control when the thunder and lightning starts, right whenever they call action. The thunder and lightning is created using some pretty simple techniques, nothing too fancy. It's just strobe lights that are flashing and the sound is projected through speakers. But the rain is totally different, right? The rain is being created using a highly complicated and just, oh boy, wildly technical system. You probably have never heard of them before. But they're called sprinklers. Hey, that's the part of the tour where you go, ooh, right? Don't worry, I'll give you another chance at that one. On the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh!
1, 2.
Ah! Whoa. That was way too powerful. Look what we did. We shook the ground so much with our oohs and ahs, we broke the dam holding all the water! Can we get a big round of applause for our practical effect of flash flood? Scene in the movie Big Fat Liar. Check it out.
Go inside the earthquake. Inside the traffic. Go. Watch out.
You might recognize the rest of these Old Mexico sets from some other notable productions. It was seen as the town of Pariah in the HBO series Westworld. It was also seen in Paramount's Nacho Libre starring Jack Black. But let's head out of Old Mexico and into the Old West. Welcome everyone to 6 Points. Now these are our Western sets and they've seen many a Western star throughout the years. John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Clint Eastwood. Hey, even Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt were here filming Quentin Tarantino's film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Maybe
for Sony.
next time. Maybe next time.
You know, 6 Points is a great example of the two different kinds of sets that we have to offer here. Facades and practical sets. Now, a facade is basically a fancy French word that means false front. So most of the buildings that you see here on property are going to be an example of a facade or a shell that's only meant to be filmed from the outside. Then there are buildings that are called practical sets, in which production could film from the inside and the outside. One of them is actually located here in 6 Points. It's a saloon, and it's coming up on your screen right now. Now, this is a bare bones example of what a production can use as sort of their base layer. They come in, they add set decoration to help bring these sets to life. This particular saloon was featured in Quentin Tarantino's film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, I do want to let you know that we're currently at the halfway point of today's tour. If you have an emergency, drop something of value off the side of the tram, or just can't wait to use the restroom, please let me know by pulling the red emergency cord above your head, and I will be back to assist you, but please remain seated. As we turn the corner, we've got a great view of Soundstage 33 again, which you'll see the logo painted on the side of the soundstage for Happy's Place. Now, they are about to start filming season number 3 of the television series starring Miss Reba McEntire. Here to tell you a little bit more about her television series is Miss Reba herself.
Hey there, I'm Reba McEntire, and welcome to Happy's Place. We shoot our heartfelt comedy right here on Universal Live. Now, unlike most TV shows, we are a multi-camera sitcom, meaning several cameras capture every scene from a different angle, all at the same time. Each episode takes about a week to make, from the first read-through of the script to rehearsals to taping in front of a live studio audience. And let me tell you, every step is a blast. Enjoy the ride, and we'll see you at Happy's Place. Yoo-hoo! Folks starting to sweat. I'm just thinking about it. The men are the ones that's supposed to ask the women out. That hasn't been true for 30 years. I haven't dated in 30 years.
Happy's Place, Friday on NBC and Peacock.
That's right, and seasons 1 and 2 of Happy's Place are currently available to watch on our streaming service Peacock. Now, for their production, they have sets that are built inside of that soundstage that are really only meant for Happy's Place. So basically, when a production wraps or finishes filming, they will typically break down the set that's inside of the soundstage, leaving it empty and ready for another production to come in and build a set inside of it. Now, that is the case with all of our sound stages except for one. There is one very special soundstage here at Universal that will always have a set inside of it. Now, all throughout Hollywood, there are these locations called standing sets that production companies may have for films to film in. Now, a standing set is a permanent set. It could look like the interior of a hospital, the interior of a plane, or a school. Basically,
maybe
a
next
commonly
time.
used space. It could be redecorated to look like any location in the world. We actually have a standing set here at Universal that is a subway station, and this place is constantly booked out, as this is a rare opportunity to find a standing set that looks like a subway station in Hollywood. So today there is a production in here. Please remain seated and hang on tightly to your personal belongings. Now, what's cool about this soundstage for production, they could have their actors step off the subway platform, walk up these steps, and walk up to a second story, because directly above us is a whole other set. It's actually an exterior set. Oh no, that is not supposed to happen. I don't know what's going on. Oh no!
Yes. Then go inside the traffic. Then go inside the traffic.
Congratulations, everyone. You just wrapped production on Earthquake the Big One. Why don't you give yourselves a big round of applause? Nice. Now, Earthquake the Big One features both practical and special effects working hand in hand to create the illusion that all of those elements were happening to us inside of that sound stage. Classic examples of things that you would see in big action sequences in movies and television shows. Now, we are going to be passing by our Amity Island attraction again, which, by the way, this attraction is celebrating its 50th anniversary here this year on the backlot. It opened the year after the film Jaws premiered due to the major success of the film in the box office. Here to tell you more is the director of Jaws, Steven Spielberg.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of
The
the
fire.
size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the train.
Now, the movie Jaws is filmed entirely on location at Martha's Vineyard. However, the Amity Island set has been a coastal environment throughout the years. Is the town of Cabot Cove in the television series Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. Officially the welcome to residential section of our backlot. Off to your right-hand side is the Chicken Ranch. Now, the Chicken Ranch is a 2-story practical set. So that means production can film on the first floor, but they can also film on the second floor, as it does look like a house inside of there. And directly behind it is a great example of a facade that's only meant to give the illusion that the Chicken Ranch has neighbors. Let's see if you might recognize the Chicken Ranch from some other productions throughout the years. Take a look.
Then go inside the traffic.
Now, when it comes to bringing these sets to life, one really important element of the storytelling process would be adding a set dressing to help bring these basic sets to life. Now, in the case of Beethoven's Fifth, they added some gnomes in the front yard. They also added a car parked in the driveway. Now, anytime that a car is seen on camera, it's hand-selected by production to be seen on camera. They're known as picture cars. But did you know that you're currently sitting on a picture car right now? That's right. Our studio tour trams have been seen in countless movies and television shows throughout the years. Here's some examples of what you might recognize are trams from Big Fat Liar. Now, this is what our trams used to look like when the studio tour first opened in 1964. They were called the Glamour Trams. Originally, they were designed by a popular art director in the 1960s. His name was Harper Goff. He was known for his fantastical and whimsical designs. He was actually the production designer on Paramount's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and he designed the look of the Glamour Tram. And I bring up the Glamour Tram because we're about to see one. It's coming up over here off to your left-hand side. It's our first vehicle in a long line of screen-used picture cars, including the Gyrosphere from Jurassic World. We also have a Jeep Wrangler seen in Jurassic Park, one seen in the Lost World Jurassic Park. The Flying Ford Anglia from Warner Brothers' Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The Flintstones vehicles. Biff's car from Back to the Future. Some seen from a distant future of 2015. Now here they are. That's from Back to the Future 2. The Duesenberg used in The Mummy Returns. Now wait a minute. Now, I'm not really sure how this happened, but somehow we ended up in front of the Bates Motel and the Psycho House on the Hill. These are from the Alfred Hitchcock Psycho franchise. Oh no. Not the best place to spend the night, I'll tell you that. One more time. Talking about facades and practical sets, the Psycho House is a great example of one. Originally, for the 1960 film, when they built the Psycho House, they didn't build the whole thing. They only built the walls that you see on camera. And those are the same two walls that we're seeing as we approach the Psycho House today. Now, later throughout time, they did complete the Psycho House by adding some more additional walls. And it does remain one of the most iconic locations here on the Universal Studios backlot. Just to let you know, we're nearing the end of the tour, but we probably have about 10 to 15 minutes before we're going to get you back to the theme park. So if you have an emergency or drop something of value off the side of the tram, please let me know by pulling the red emergency cord and I'll be back to assist you, but please remain seated. As we now head into one of the most elaborate sets here at Universal, welcome everyone to the plane crash site from Steven Spielberg's 2005 film, War of the Worlds. This does feature a real decommissioned plane, which was chopped into several key pieces and brought over here from the Mojave Desert on a fleet of flatbed trucks. Here's what it looks like on camera.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
And for again to sit down to talk about the War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep doing something. Listen, listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now closed. Bobby, get in. Get in.
Recently, you can see the plane crash site in the short film Brighter Days Ahead by Ariana Grande. It was also seen in the sketch comedy series Key and Peele, which was created by Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. Speaking of Jordan Peele, we're about to enter the sets from his latest film, Nope, which is a sci-fi thriller starring Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Stephen Yeun.
Mommy didn't go inside the traffic.
Now, Jupiter's Claim is a fictional theme park set in the world of the movie Nope. Here to welcome us to Jupiter's Claim is the director, writer, and producer of Nope himself. It's Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion
There we
and bring it to
go.
life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park.
Didn't go inside the traffic.
Over there, look into the winking mirror and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Why? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso Experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the beautiful hotspot. Welcome to the world of Nope.
Now, so far on today's tour, we've seen lots of different kinds of examples of effects that are used in filmmaking. It's fitting that near the end of the tour, we would see one that's added in the final stages of production, that being sound effects. And through the use of sound, we can tell a story. And that story was telling me to get out of there because I really do not want to meet Jean Jacket today. Now, folks, it's a good time to get out your cameras because coming up off to your right-hand side is a filming location which is called Falls Lake. It features one of the world's largest freestanding blue screen backdrops, and next to it is a set piece that was built right here on the lot for one of the most anticipated films this mega movie summer. Here to tell you more about it is director Christopher Nolan.
for the Odyssey, we wanted to take audiences on Odysseus's incredible journey across the world, across this mythical world of adventure. And to do that, we shot on IMAX film all around the world in incredible locations. And we wanted to put audiences on the deck of his ship. So we shot with full-size ships, like the one that you're seeing right now, and went out on the oceans of the world with our IMAX camera, with our incredible cast led by Matt Damon, to really try and take audiences on this incredible thrill ride.
Now, Christopher Nolan shot almost all of the Odyssey in fantastic locations around the world, including Scotland, Morocco, and Iceland. However, principal photography wrapped up right here at Falls Lake with that very ship in the water. After enduring all the challenges on location, like freezing temperatures and rain, Matt Damon and the crew joked that they would have an easier time filming here in the controlled environment of our studio lot, only to find out that with 2 jet engines blasting water at them, they were just as cold and wet being on the ship here at Falls Lake as they were on the real ocean. And we can't wait for you to see Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, shot with IMAX cameras in theaters now.
Odysseus, don't you want to remember?
I remember a wife, a son. I can still save them. No one can stand between me and home. Not even the gods. I ought to see you now playing good themes.
Now, sadly, all good things must come to an end, and that does mean that we have reached the end of the studio tour. I want to thank you all so much for joining us today. It's been a blast having you on board, taking you behind the scenes of how movies and television shows are made here at Universal. Now, the cool thing about this experience is that it is repeatable, so every time that you take the studio tour, it will be different. Next time that you're here at Universal Studios
Maybe next
Hollywood,
time.
definitely come back and say hi to us.